Hey, Lovie, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good. How are you handling all this with this, coronavirus and stuff?
I mean, it's getting pretty hard, but it's not too far out of my comfort zone because I am like a homebody slash
Right.
introvert. So it's like, but yeah,
Oh, okay, that's good. So yeah, you're not driving you too crazy, huh?
not nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Well, Selah and The Spades, I just had so much fun with that movie. It was so good. One thing though that did stick out with me when watching before I even watched the movie, was watching the trailer is, man, I don't think we've ever had a high school coming of age film with mostly black cast. You got a
Mhm.
black lead. I was really trying to think. I'm like, we have not had a film like this on this like
Yeah.
level. I mean, you the HBIC of the boarding school. I'm like, man, I'm
Yeah.
loving this. I mean, were these the kind of things that were sticking out to you when you were reading the script? We were talking with
Yes.
Taisha about the film and all
Yes,
that.
most definitely. For me, I was like, oh my God, wait, okay. Black kids at a boarding school, like I've
Yeah,
never seen that. And like I need to see that because we don't usually have that much freedom,
right.
to like do what white kids do with the boarding school freedom. So I wanted to see that kind of like take form. And then I also love that Selah was definitely taking advantage of all of that freedom away from home.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, I didn't feel this way until I got to college. I mean, I went to a public school, but I was like,
Yeah.
man, they are really like, y'all had to side hustles with the selling of the drugs and the alcohol. I was like, man, y'all are getting the full experience. Y'all was getting the full
They
experience.
were really in college for sure. They was living the college life.
Yeah. Yes, at a very young
Yeah.
age. You of course you play Selah. Selah, she's the head of the spades. She's the head of the school. Basically, you have all this power. People love you, or know you. They love you. They want to be you. You're
Yeah.
that it girl for them. I feel like a lot of us grew up with somewhat on that like level, not maybe not to an extreme that Selah kind of took it, but some of it, like we all went to school with somebody like that. Did you kind of base your performance with Selah off of someone you might have known in the past, or someone that you were familiar with from school?
Uh, Not really anyone I was familiar with, but the feelings I was like emotions I was familiar with more
Hmm.
so 'cause I knew that um, you know, if you look at everything like in the simplicity, everyone has like certain like things that they're made up of, and I feel like Selah was just like made up of like a lot of rage and a lot of
Yeah.
frustration and like a
Hmm.
lot of like I'd be like, okay, like what is she feeling right now, like
Yeah.
emotionally wise, and like it would just end up being like a whole bunch of like a collection of like a whole bunch of small little scenes and like those emotions that I had to display in that short time that was
Yeah.
Selah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is one thing with Selah. She just never showed when she was, sad or feeling, just really upset. She kind of wouldn't show. She just really had like a poker face.
Yeah.
Like throughout the film, and I'm like, she just would not open up to anybody.
Yeah.
But then that's where Paloma came in, and your relationship kind of with Paloma, Selah, and Paloma. How to say this without giving too much away. So I'm curious of if she went into it as someone with good intentions to actually have her, okay, like I see her as somebody who can take like my seat, somebody who can be my successor. Did you think that she came into the situation with good intentions? I'd say that, yeah.
I definitely think Selah had good intentions with Paloma. I also think that I just feel like she was desperate, Selah,
Hmm.
she wasn't ready to graduate. She wasn't ready to kind of give up her power. And she
Yeah,
couldn't find anybody that like really met her standards until like she saw someone who was kind of reminded her of her younger like, of her, that was a little more vulnerable and didn't have all of the power yet,
yeah,
So I definitely feel like that's why um they they do have that relationship that kind of reflects the student teacher situation too.
yeah. It was very. I just love like the dynamics between you and Paloma. I mean, with Selah, Paloma, Celeste O'Connor. I mean, I'm assuming your guys' relationship off camera wasn't as intense as it kind of was on camera. Uh,
Yeah.
prepping for those scenes. I mean, what was the what was the vibe like, between you two, between you and Celeste?
It was easy to like play those roles only because we were very vulnerable with each other in real
Right.
life, and we kept saying like while we were filming like there must be like some cameras around because they definitely are just hang out, and they're saying that it's work, but it's not. Like we're really just hanging out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it was kind of like that. So like just working with her, it was just like easy because I'll just be like, yeah, so this is what I'm thinking like for the scene, and she'll like come to me, and like we both respect each other's like views and like how like where we're coming from. So it just made everything so lovely. And also what I loved about the cast in
Hmm.
this is like the relationships that you see on the screen, it's kind of like that on the other side of the spectrum in like real life. So like not me, Selah and Maxie, they were
Yeah.
supposed to be like these lifelong friends, kind of
Yeah.
like almost like sister. They know each other, she trusts him, and it was kind of easy for me and Jarrell to play that because me and Jarrell grew up in the Bronx, like one train stop away from each other. Like we kind of had the same childhood growing up, and it was kind of easy to relate to each other. And then Celeste, like coming from Maryland and kind of just trying to like see what this like fast-paced New York lifestyle
Hmm.
humor is like. Well, it kind of just translated really well.
I'm glad you brought in Maxie because it did come off as you guys have known each other your whole lives in the film, with Selah and Maxie's
Mhm.
relationship. And I mean, it's just a matter of, is Selah even capable of having a true relationship with someone, friends, boyfriend, whatever it is. I mean, is she capable of that? Does she even want that, or does she always keep people at a
I
distance?
think uh, I think Stella's power hungry self is not capable of that because
Yeah.
everyone is disposable. I feel
Hmm.
like Stella at her awakened self definitely wants those relationships. I just feel like she wanted those people around her. Like she wanted Maxie and she wanted Paloma, but it was just a matter of like she can't help but to be who she is, and sometimes that's going to drive people away.
Right. And I think a
Hmm.
lot of what the reason Stella kind of what is the way she is at school is because the relationship she had with her mother. Um,
Hmm.
you don't have many scenes with your mom in the film, but when you do, you can feel the tension. You can feel
Yeah.
um her mom doesn't really know her. It doesn't seem like she cared to know what she wants in her
It's like a
future.
whole shift. Like you see a whole different
Yes.
Stella. Like
Yeah, exactly. You see Stella at school, she's this powerful woman who just everyone is like below her, and then she gets around her
Mhm.
mom, and it's just an instant flip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, just talk about kind of that mindset and transitioning into that with doing those scenes with your mom, who was played by Gina Torres, and
Mhm.
with doing your scenes at school at Hardwell.
Yeah. I definitely loved having like that storyline because it made so much sense. Like the way her mother kind of treated her was how she kind of had the mindset to treat everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that because it was like, I don't know, I just love multi-dimensional characters where you
Yeah.
can see the reason behind their actions instead of like just judging them. Like I love seeing it all.
Yeah. Because I wouldn't say necessarily Stella. I mean, the word I've been throwing around lately with a lot of these characters, they're misunderstood. Not
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
evil or me. There's a
Yeah.
lot going on, at home, in their mind, whatever the situation is. I don't think
Mhm.
people are evil because they want to be. There's a situation. I think her relationship with her mom has a lot to do with how she treats people at
Yeah.
school, her peers.
Yeah. I feel like she was definitely just doing the best with what she knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I'm
really just like make it.
Yeah, I was so invested in her. I was like, I wonder how like she is 10 years from now. Like, I wonder, like,
Yeah,
Stella, 10
me
years,
too.
what her job is, what
I
she
feel
gonna
like
be
she has
doing.
a powerhouse, like maybe
Yeah,
president.
for sure. She definitely running like a Fortune 500 company, like cussing everybody
Yeah.
out and living in
Doesn't
a
have a
mansion.
man because yeah. Has like lofts around different
Yeah.
cities.
Yeah, I was so invested the whole time in the characters and these people, and I love the film. I'm curious. She also is a loner, so I know during this time she'll probably really appreciate being like in the house, not messing with nobody, not no one messing with
Yeah.
her. But I want you to tell me, like, for Sella, what would be her quarantine playlist? Like, what songs would she be like listening to at home right now in her own way, in her own vibe?
Okay. Selah is definitely listening to Rihanna.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, she's listening to Anti like on repeat.
Uh-huh.
She's also listening to like old school songs like Benny King and like
Mhm.
Sam Cooke. But like she's
Yes.
also, but I feel like Stella would also, I don't know, probably now, like in 2020, because that
Mhm.
movie did take place in like the early 2000s. Now that it's 2020 and she's from Philly,
Mhm.
definitely like any Philly artist, like Meek Mill, like all
Yeah.
those,
I
all
feel like
those
you've thought
rappers.
about this.
Well, I do think about music a lot, like with
Yeah.
my characters. Like whenever I audition for a role and I really want that role, I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, I'm making a playlist for this character right now. So I have a playlist for like every character I've ever played, and I just like put it in, and I'm like.
So yeah, are you so you're just like don't wait when you listen to your music on Sarah, you're like just don't bother me right now. Hold on, I'm getting in my zone.
As long as it's just on, like it just has
Oh,
to like
okay.
be on, like I just have to like start getting into like the vibe, and then I'll just like feel like that energy of like the character.
Okay.
But like it could be like while I'm cooking breakfast or while I'm stripping
Mhm.
my ham or something. Hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean the last thing that I have really is I do this thing called 3 words. So if you just describe the movie in 3 words, it could be a sentence, like it could be adjectives, whatever, just 3 words to
Mm,
describe Selah and the Spades.
this is a good one. This is
Yeah.
a good one.
It's tough. I know because I tried to do it myself, but I couldn't do it.
It is black.
Yes.
It is empowering,
Yes.
and it is enlightening. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Those are 3 good ones. I love
Yeah.
you. You're incredible.
That was hard. I was like
Yeah.
trying to say.
Hey,
I was like,
that one. The music one was good, and then you're like the 3 words. You was like, "Ooh, hold on."
girl.
Love it. You're incredible. You're amazing in this film. Really. I mean,
Me
I'm telling everybody about it. I'm telling everyone's excited. A lot of my family are excited to see it. So yeah, I'm excited for your future too. I know you're just kind of getting going a little bit, so I'm excited to see what happens to you in the future. And
too.
congrats with everything with Greenleaf and all that, man. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to see more stuff from you.
Thank you.
So I hope you enjoy your
I
day.
appreciate that so much. You too.
Thank you for talking with me. It was awesome.
Anytime. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
have a good one.